Hello, everybody. It is me. I'm back again. I know it's been a while, but I'm back again. Today, I'm going to talk about Survivor, the TV show. I started watching Survivor, last month, and I have a lot of thoughts. And I'm going to tell them to you. I need to look at the camera. I'm going to tell them to you. Okay, are you ready? All right. So I started with season 9 because that's the earliest that they had on Hulu, which is what I was watching it on. And my throat is so congested right now. And it was so entertaining. I will admit to being a cover judger because for all my life, I thought that Survivor was just a show where they put a bunch of people on an island separately and they just had to survive. Like, there was no, interaction between the people. There was no, tribes, no challenges or nothing. They just, sat on a fucking island and tried to live and not die. And that's what I thought it was. And so, obviously, I was like, I don't want to fucking watch that. That's boring. But I watched it. My hair is fucked up. I watched it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. And it was so good. Season 9, life-changing. Let me tell you all about it. So, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. I watched season 10 as well. I'll tell you that one later. All I remember about season 9, Twyla deserved better. And I mean that till the day that I die, because it's just so sick and twisted how they all did her. Twyla should have won, and I mean that wholeheartedly, because I don't even know how to word this right now. It's such a nothing burger video, but Twyla. No, let me tell you what I'm mad about. So in season 9, Twyla was lying, as you do on Survivor, and that's another thing that pisses me off. People get so mad, the contestants, they get so mad at the other contestants for lying, when that's literally, that's what you do in Survivor. You have to lie. That's the whole point of the fucking game. Every bitch who tells the truth on Survivor gets voted off on day 1. You have to be a lying, deceitful bitch. And it just pisses me off so bad when the people get mad at people for lying. It's like, girl, that's what you're supposed to do. And don't act like you're any better, because I know you are not. Anyway, so Twyla was lying as she does, and to try and convince the person she was lying to that she was telling the truth, she was like, I swear on my son's life that I'm telling the truth right now. And it was a lie. And then it came out that it was a lie. And they were all like, how dare you swear on your son's life? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? How could you? And I'm just like, oh my god. It is not that serious. It is not that serious. Especially on Survivor. I was so mad. And they would not let up about it. It's like every chance they got to speak to Twyla, they were just like, oh, how could you swear on your son's life and it was a lie? Your son's gonna fucking die. How could you? And it was just like, oh my god, you just need to grow the fuck up. Oh my god, it's not that fucking serious. Hold on. I was just like, oh my god, you bitches cannot be for real. Are you serious right now? Anyways, every bitch on the Survivor Season 9 island was so immature, except for Scout and Twyla, and that's why they were the best people on that island. You know who's really fucking immature? Eliza Orlins. Eliza! I don't like you. At least the you that you were on Survivor. If you're better now, then good for you, but I did not like you on Survivor. Oh god, Eliza was so annoying. I feel bad. Sorry, Eliza, if you're seeing this. You're not. I have 300 subscribers. But Eliza was so annoying. She was the most immature person on that island, and she was the main getter honor to Twyla. She's just like, how could you swear on your son's life? Oh, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh my God, grow up. Oh God. And she was such a pick-me. Oh my God. During one of the tribal councils, Twyla was vaguely talking about all the people on the island, and I don't actually remember what she said, but she was like, oh, this one person was doing this, and then Eliza stood up and she was like, it's me, guys, it's me she's talking about, in case you wanted to know, it's me. And I was like, girl, shut the fuck up. Shut up. No one cares. Oh God, my chest. She was just so annoying. Like, oh God. I feel bad saying this. I'm sorry, Eliza. I don't mean it, except I do, but I'm sorry. You did it to yourself. I shouldn't feel bad. You were very annoying on the Survivor Island. But I wasn't too mad with who won season 9. It was this guy named Chris. No attachment to him whatsoever, but I did like that he won, because in one of the previous challenges, when he lost, he was like, I'm going home. It's over, babe. He was talking to his girlfriend. He was like, yeah, I'm going home tonight. It's over. And then he proceeds to win the entire season. I was like, okay. I was like, wow, what a turn of tables. But I still think it should have... I thought I saw a ghost. I still think it should have been Twyla. Twyla was my choice number 1. I have a little duck here. And Scout too. Scout got 3rd place, but she should have gotten 2nd to Twyla in 1st. Yeah, I mean, season 9 was amazing. It changed my life. I loved it so much. I don't really remember much because it was a month ago and I have short-term memory loss. Did I just memory loss? I don't know how to speak English either. But yeah, it was great. I loved it. Twyla should have won. Wait, I remember more. Scout was gay. And I was like, oh my God. Because this was filmed in 2004. Before gay people were like popular. So I was like, oh my God, okay. And it wasn't just Scout. There was another really annoying girl on the island named Amy. She was like Eliza, but like smart. Because Eliza was kind of stupid. But Amy was like, she was like mastermind conniving with it. She was like, I don't know. She was annoying, but she was like smart about it. And she was also gay. And I was like, oh my God. Being gay and annoying? Wow, you're breaking so many boundaries. I feel so bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Amy. I'm sorry. Oh God, my eyeball. Anyways. But yeah, I was like, wow, 2 gay people on 1 season. Okay, Jeff Probst. Fucking Jeff Probst. Let me talk about that. Jeff Probst, the bottom line is Jeff Probst is a demon from hell. That's the only takeaway that you can get from a Survivor watch, is that Jeff Probst is a demon from hell. And it does not take a rocket science to figure that out. Like, this, oh God, the shit that he made those people do. I'll get to it when I get to season 10, the ending of it. But that man is, he's a demon from hell. He's evil. But, oh God, he makes me so mad sometimes. Because at all the tribal councils, he's always like fanning the flames. And I get that's what you're supposed to do. But it's like he brings up like stuff that no one wanted to talk about. It's like, let's say you're at like a family dinner and there's your aunt and her uncle was murdered like last week, and you're at dinner with her, and you're just like, this is crazy explanation. No one's saying anything, but then Jeff Probst's ass would walk in and would be like, so where were you when he got murdered, huh? Were you buying a gun? Were you holding a knife? Where were you after he got murdered? Were you hiding a body? And that's the shit that he does. He's always like, oh, so what about this? You know, when no one else is talking about it, Jeff is like, okay, so what about when you did this? And then everyone gets so mad and it's a huge fight. And it's like, I get that's what you gotta do for the ratings, but it's like, you don't always have to fan the flames that aren't even there. All right? speaking of fanning flames, let's get into season 10. So, I'll speak about the flames later. This is not even... So, season 10, I remember much more about, because I just watched it. Season 10, I will confess. Okay, one more thing about season 9. I just remembered. Twyla, I read on the internet that they asked Twyla to come back for like a Survivor All-Star season twice, and then they backed out on her last minute. Twice. Both times. I would kill everyone. I would come to Jeff Probst's house with a gun. Are you kidding me? You pull the rug from under me going back on Survivor twice? Bitch, look out for a pipe bomb in your mailbox. Are you kidding me? Ugh. That's just so crazy. Like, the Twyla disrespect is diabolical. Jeff Probst, watch your fucking back. Anyways, season 10. I promise I'm actually going to get into it now. So, season 10, it's really funny because when I first started season 10, I hated it. I hated all the people. I thought it was the most boring cast that I had ever seen in my life. But as I watched it more, I was like, wait a minute. This is actually so entertaining, and I actually love these guys, which is crazy because I hated them so much. And they weren't boring. They were a little bit even more entertaining than season 9, I'll say. No, season 9 was better, but season 10 was still very entertaining, and the people were great. My favorite person on the island of season 10... Ian Rosenberger. That's my man right there. Ah! Ian from Survivor Season 10. If you are ever single, baby, I'm single too. Oh, God, he was so hot. Ah! That's all I care about in a person. No, that sounds so bad. I love hot guys. And that is my... I will take that oath and live by that mantra, however you say it, till I die. I love hot guys. And that's what I will focus on. So when I press play on Survivor Season 10 and I see Ian Rosenberger, I'm like, oh my God, I have to keep watching for him even though I think these people are so boring. And so I did. And he was so hot the whole time. I could talk about just him for 30 whole minutes. But anyways, what was crazy about Survivor Season 10 is because when it started, they did like a high school dodgeball team picking moment, and the two people who won the first challenge got to pick the teams, and the two people who got picked last had to go home on the first day. Do you realize, like, let me put this into perspective. So you are a huge fan of Survivor. You've been watching it for years. You've been watching all the seasons. You're obsessed with it. So you're like, hey, maybe I should go on Survivor. So you record your little audition tape and you send it in. And then, holy fuck, Jeff Probst emails you and is like, we'd like to take you on Survivor Season 10. And you're like, oh my fucking God. And you're so happy. And you spend months preparing, you do all of this stuff, you sign all the paperwork, you hop on a fucking boat to go all the way out to Palau, and then you get sent home the same day! What? I would kill everyone! Like, oh my God, I felt so bad for them! Like, oh my God. Literally, I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they were just like, oh, that sucks. Girl, like, I'm strangling everyone to death. Like, are you kidding me right now? If I went on Survivor and got sent home day one, there would be no more Survivor, because I would have killed everybody. Like, I can't imagine that. I felt so bad for them. Oh, God, Jesus Christ. Oh, God, I can never go on Survivor. I'd be so problematic. Anyways, so after that, and I was like, this is fucking crazy. There was this one girl, on the Oolong tribe named Jolanda, and I loved her. And then she got voted off first, so I was like, okay, what the fuck ever. She was such a great leader, and that's why they kicked her off, because they was like, oh, she's too strong. Oh, she's gonna beat all of us. And so they kicked her off. And you want to guess what happened? They lost every single challenge in the entire season, and I am not exaggerating. They kicked off their leader and lost every challenge. Every immunity challenge. And I say that because they won one reward challenge. They lost every immunity challenge and every reward challenge except for one reward challenge. So I have to be specific about it. But bottom line is they fucking sucked because they kicked off the best person on their team day one. And so, yeah, that's the crazy. Fun fact, that tribe, literally the worst performing tribe in Survivor history because they lost everything. And it was so hard to watch. I was rooting for them so hard. It was a good thing that Ian was on the other tribe that kept winning, because if he got voted off early, I would have stopped watching, because I don't care. There's no hot guys. But anyways, so yeah, they lost every challenge, and they had to send somebody home every single day, and I felt so bad. Because it was so hard to watch. Just them lose over and over and over again. And I feel like that's how you know that these shows aren't scripted. They would not make them lose every single challenge. Or maybe they would. I don't even know. But basically, yeah, they lost and had to keep sending people home. And they got smaller and smaller and smaller until they were a tribe of like fucking 3. And the other tribe had 10. And they had to do it to where literally, like, Excuse me. Jeff Probst had to be like, okay, both of you guys are going to tribal council tonight. We've got to kick off a member off of both tribes because these bitches keep fucking losing and the balance is getting too crazy. So both of you bitches have to go home tonight. And eventually they kept fucking losing until it was literally a tribe of 1. And I am not kidding. The final remaining member of the Oolong tribe was a girl named Stephanie, and I loved her. And, oh, this is where the fanning the flames part comes in. So, when it was down to a tribe of 2, it was Stephanie and this guy named Bobby John. I think, like, I seriously don't remember. I got memory loss. And basically, it was like, okay, it's going to be a tie because there's 2 of you, so we're going to do a tiebreaker contest. And it was like who could build a fire faster that could like reach a torch or something. And Bobby John, because it was literally just him and Stephanie, Bobby John had taught Stephanie how to make a fire like really well, because he was like, we're literally alone out here. Here's how to do fire. And it was so funny because he taught her so well that she beat him in the fire making tiebreaker challenge. And I was just like, oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that's what Stephanie said. She was like, he taught me too well. I beat his ass. And she didn't say that. Anyways. And then they made Stephanie go back to the Oolong Beach alone. And I was like, what? Like, I thought they were just going to do the merge right there. But no, girl, they were like, okay, go back to the beach alone, bitch. And spend the night alone, loser. And so she did. And then they merged the day after. But I was like, girl, you should have merged right off the bat. And there was this girl on the other tribe, the Karor tribe. There was this girl named Janu who literally did nothing. She spent all of her time being like, I want to go home. Oh, I hate it here. Oh. And that pissed me off so bad, because it's like, bitch, why did you come? Why did you send in a tape for Survivor and agree to do all this shit, and then as soon as you come on the actual show, you're like, man, I want to go home. Girl, I'll beat you to death. I'm gonna get put on a watch list for this shit I say. But I'm not the only one who said that, because literally one of the guys on the tribe was like, I want to push her in the fire. She's so annoying. And I was like, girl, me too. Because it's just like, why would you do that? Why would you just complain and be annoying? When it's like, girl, you chose to be here. No one forced you to be on Survivor, girl. Pisses me off. So anyways, yeah, Janu didn't do anything, was annoying. And when Karor won one of their reward challenges, it was Janu and 3 other people that got to get like a cultural palau dinner. And so they got it and they ate it, and Janu fucking vomited it up. And I was like, girl, you cannot be serious right now. It was just like disrespectful. It was disrespectful is what it was. These people prepared you their cultural dinner, and everyone else was like, this is so good. And Janu was like, ugh, and had to leave and go like throw it up. And I was like, girl, oh my God, you are humiliating yourself on national television by being this fucking weird and annoying and embarrassing. And Janu, there was a challenge where the punishment for placing last was you got exiled to a beach alone, and you had to spend the night there. And I'm pretty sure Janu did that shit willingly, because she got last place and was like, yay, I get to be alone. And when she came back, she was like, oh, it was so great, I loved it. And the people of the Karor tribe were like, okay, you bitch, so you hate hanging out with us? And that's another thing. Bitch, Survivor is the epitome of I like pancakes, so you hate waffles. And what that is, if you don't know, is like, I could say, oh, I love pancakes. And then someone else could be like, so you hate waffles? Even though I never fucking said that. I just said I liked pancakes. I didn't say shit about waffles. But that's what Survivor is. Like, you say one thing and it gets twisted to hell and back into another thing. And so they were like, wow, Janu, you bitch. And but they weren't voting her off. They weren't voting her off. They just kept her. And that's the same thing that happened with Eliza in season 9. Eliza placed 4th out of everyone. She got 4th place. Can you believe that? She deserved to go home day 1. I could not fucking believe it. They keep the worst people around because they know that they're not a threat. They get rid of the people that are actually threats, and then keep the fucking stupid people that they know they can pick off at the end. And so they were going to vote off Stephanie, which is a fucking stupid choice. Stephanie should have won. Stephanie should have won season 10. Yeah. Yeah, Stephanie is who I wanted to win, because she was the final member of Oolong. That was like so impactful. Why is it so dark in here? Hello? Hold up. So anyway, so yeah, Stephanie, it got dark again, whatever. Stephanie was the final member of Oolong. She had to live on the beach alone and do all of this shit, and I think she deserved to win the season because of that. But then they fucking voted her off. But on the night that they were going to vote her off initially, Janu was actually like, actually guys, I want to go home. I'm sacrificing myself and leaving the island right now. And I was like, because that's crazy. I mean, I'm glad that she actually did it instead of being like, well, I want to go home all the time. And I'm glad because it bought Stephanie another day, but only one because she left the next day. It's just crazy. Janu, work on yourself. Stop being so pitiful. Anyways, so they kicked off Janu and they kicked off Stephanie, unfortunately. And then it got down to the Hell State. And what that is near the end of every Survivor season, everyone just starts turning against each other and becoming demons from hell and being like, oh, you stupid bitch, you said this and that, and oh, I'm gonna vote you off, fuck you and die. And every Survivor season becomes that at the very end, even though I've only seen 2. I'm assuming the rest do that. But because there's so little people left, it's like, oh, now it's every man for himself. Like, bitch, I'm coming for everyone's neck. This $1 million is going to be mine. And every alliance breaks up, and it's so hellish. So I call it the hell stage. And so after Stephanie left, we entered the hell stage. And all the alliances broke up, and it was so hard to watch. Because I was like, God, I love these people. And seeing them just turn against each other at the end, I was like, oh my God, this is so sad. And, oh, but bitch, it gets worse. At the end. But there was this girl named Karen on the season, spelled Caryn, because she's quirky like that. I attribute Ian not winning to Karen, because Karen, her ass, ironic because she's named Karen, but her ass. So the girls of the season, the girls were like, we're gonna vote off Tom, and Tom was this like big like strong like old guy. He was the leader of the tribe. He was like Karor's Jolanda, but they didn't vote him off day one, which was a fucking mistake. And so the girls were like, we're gonna vote off Tom because he is obviously the strongest and he's gonna kick all of our asses if we don't kick him off right now. And so Karen was like, okay. And then she went to Tom and was like, they're gonna vote you off. And I was like, bitch, are you trying to sacrifice yourself and everyone else? It's like, why would you do that? Like, you just fucked up everything. You sabotaged your girls and your own chances of winning because they didn't get to vote Tom off that night because Tom knew about it. So he forged this whole thing and voted one of the girls off instead. And I was like, Karen, you bitch. Because they could have kicked Tom off right there and someone better could have won because Tom won the season. And I was so pissed. I attribute everything to Karen in that moment for her doing that. Even Tom at that moment, he was like, why are you telling me this? Like, you just sabotaged everything. I just can't believe it. I was so mad at her in that moment. So anyways, the final three of season 10 was Tom, Ian, and Katie. And Katie was just as bad as Janu. She didn't do anything around the camp. She was just there and didn't do anything like impactful or important through the whole season, but somehow she got second place and Ian got third, and I was so fucking mad at him. Oh, and this is where Jeff Probst being a demon from hell comes in, because the final challenge that they had to go through, the final three, it was like stand on a buoy. You guys know what a buoy is, a floating like metal pole in water. And so Jeff Probst was like, stand on this fucking buoy for as long as you can. There is no time limit. And when I tell you, those motherfuckers stood on those buoys for 12 hours. 1, 2, uno, dos. 12 hours they stood on those fucking things. And they had to fucking piss and shit themselves. They didn't show it, but you could obviously tell, like, Ian, like visible piss on his clothes. And I was like, oh my god, like, is this not illegal? Like, this has to break some sort of fucking, like, code that you're making them do this shit. And so Katie jumped off the buoy after, like, hour 2. And then Tom and Ian stayed on it for 12 fucking hours. And I was so mad at Ian because he gave up and jumped off, and I was like, God, why would you do that? He sacrificed himself. He was like, I'm done. I'm leaving, like, the game. Like, I'm gonna jump off, and then you guys can vote me off. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, why would you do that? Because it was an immunity challenge. The person who stays on the buoy the longest gets immunity and can't be voted out, so they're automatically in the final 2. And I was like, bitch, if you would have just stayed on that buoy a little longer, you could have been immune, and y'all would have gotten rid of Tom, and it would have been a clear victory for Ian, because no one would have voted for Katie to win, because she didn't do anything. So I was like, oh my god, like, I know you were already there for 12 hours, but you could have done a couple more. Because, oh god, it made me so bad, because the path to victory was so clear for him. God. I was so sad, because I wanted him to win so bad. But he sacrificed himself, and he was like, I don't want to do this, I'm leaving. I was like, God damn you, bitch. I was so mad at him. And so he left that night. They voted him off. Why is it so dark? Brighten up, bitch. Hold up. Wait, hold on. So yeah, anyways, they fucking voted him off that time. And I was just like, God damn you, Ian. Like, you could have had $1 million in your bank account, but you left. And so then Tom won because nobody voted for Katie. And I was just like, ah, damn, because Tom was such a bitch to Ian. Let me tell you that. Tom was such a bitch to Ian. He was doing that I like pancakes so you hate waffles shit. Ian was like, oh, it would have been really tough to have to vote you off if I would have gotten immunity. And Tom was like, what? Oh, you were gonna vote me off? How dare you? And I was like, no fucking shit, he was gonna vote you off. That's how the fucking game works. Like, yeah, he was gonna vote you off. What was he supposed to do? Kill himself? And it was just like, I was so mad at him because he acted like that was the craziest shit. He was just like, oh, you were gonna vote me off. How fucking dare you? You're such a lying, deceitful bitch. And I was like, how the fuck do you think this game is played? Like, are you being fucking for real right now? And he wasn't. He was lying. He was doing it on purpose because he's fucking smart. He was like, oh, da 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 da. So Katie would have voted with him to get rid of Ian. Ah. This was before the buoy challenge. But it was just like, oh my god. Like, Tom, be fucking for real. Like, of course he was gonna vote you out. You would have voted him. Like, he said that he wouldn't. He said that he had, like, undying loyalty to Ian and he wouldn't have voted him off. But, like, it was like, you were gonna have to eventually. So it was like, and he, oh god, what really pissed me off, he was like, oh, you promised that we would go to the final 3 together. And this happened in the final 4. And I was like, bitch, what is the difference? Like, okay, you got to the final 4. Yeah, I promised you 3, but I'm gonna vote you off in 4. And then you get so pissed off about it. It's like, bitch, what is the difference? It's one place of difference. Boo fucking who, bitch? I need to calm down. Jesus. And Tom fucking won the season, and I was so mad because he was such a bitch to Ian. And I was like, Ian, baby, I'll treat you better. Come home to me. I'll treat you better. Anyways, that's my commentary on Survivor. Bottom line, Jeff Probst is a demon from hell. Ian, call me. And Twyla should have won season 9. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say. The show is fucking crazy. I'm gonna watch season 1 next. And I don't know, go watch Survivor, Twyla Supremacy. Thanks for listening.